Mid-morning hours to get you ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast.
And spring snow is piling up just miles away from where we've seen threats along the northern tier. So far, parts of Minnesota have seen over a foot of snow and more is still on the way. Here's a live look at Duluth, Minnesota.
One of those spots with more than a foot and more to come. I mean, Duluth, you are just fully winter. 21 degrees, the wind is blowing.
Yeah. Remember, just what was it last week or a week or so ago, we were talking about Duluth being one of the least snowiest winters on record.
Don't speak too quick.
Too early.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some news that we do want to share with you here. We're following the weather for you in the Northeast. We've seen so far here all across the Midwest from Winter Storm Sawyer, and it is still snowing. This has been such a long-lived system. We started this thing over the weekend, and we still have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings up. The winter storm warnings to the north, where that snow will be heaviest. There's actually one still left in Nebraska as well. Duluth coming in with over a foot, almost a foot and a half of snow at 17 inches. Silver Bay, more than a foot at 13 inches. Lester Park, more than 13 inches. And it's snowing now again in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis, in St. Paul. And we could add a little bit more here. Remember, we had, 8.2 as our total for the storm before we changed to rain. We are back to snow. We might add another inch or two there, but maybe another 5 to 8 up to the Northeast. So this is the whole big system. And I wanted to point out what a big trough we have. I mean, take a look at this big, deep dive that we have digging down into the west here. The cold air is able to come in, and that's why so many of us have now changed over to all snow all the way through now Minnesota, where I know you were flirting with some different precip types yesterday. And the storm itself here is taking its time to move out. So we are still in another day with that low pressure and being in that sweet spot of the heavier snowfall totals. The wind is gusty. Today it is not as bad as yesterday, but we still have some gusty winds gusting close to 30 miles per hour in a number of spots. Thankfully, the snow just isn't as heavy across eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska like it was yesterday. Now here's a look at the forecast with the snowfall into Minnesota. This is through the day today. You'll see that continuing into the late afternoon, into this evening. You notice on the east side of things, the warmer air is lifting up, and so we'll have rain. Rain going all the way up through eastern Michigan, even up into Marquette. We could change over to rain, but you'll eventually flip back to snow at the very end of this. You're getting used to a little bit more snow for you. Wanted to check out those road conditions. Everywhere in pink is snow covered and not good for travel. Look at all these spots across Minnesota, a lot of the state is snow covered. We got a lot of South Dakota, especially the eastern half, Nebraska as well. Today, expecting more with the snow coming down, but also the wind blowing around the snow that's already on the ground, because it's still gusty out there, especially Minnesota and Iowa. We'll keep an eye on things for you. Likely to still see some icy spots out there on the roads. Heads up for travelers today. Now, by the way, airports, we had a lot of cancellations and more delays than cancellations, but we could see more delays again today. Now, when this system goes east, Alex, it's all about the rain coming in.
Yeah, the rain and
Bay Area. Rain on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Saturday, actually, we may see some thunderstorms as we see the core of that system come overhead. So it's a wet and unsettled period of time. Good news, Alex, and Greg, as you guys know, this is the rainy season. We're kind of getting to the tail end of it. So I think everyone generally is happy to see the moisture.
Yeah, bring it in, pile it on now, because we know we'll be begging for it a little bit later on.
Right.
All right, well, spring, it is in bloom along with the pollen. Asking you, what are you looking forward to seeing this spring? So much going on out there, including the eclipse, northern lights out there. How about some late snow that we are getting in on right now? We saw that across the upper Midwest.
We did.
And flowers. Maybe you like seeing those flowers bloom. And for those who have been kind of gray and stormy, maybe you're looking forward to seeing the sun.
Yes. Well, we want you to galaxies.
Awesome. Look at that. Enjoying the night skies.
How fun is that?
Yeah. You ready here for the big events in your neighborhood?
The Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast.
Spring snow is piling up just miles away from where we've seen severe threats along the northern tier. So far, parts of Minnesota have seen over a foot of snow and more still on the way. Live look at Duluth, Minnesota. That's a wintry look.
Yes, it is.
Right?
There's a bird out there trying. Like literally, it's at the very bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just trying in the wind.
It is snowing pretty hard there. Duluth visibility pretty low, and the winds are kicking up clearly by the wave action there on Lake Superior.
Yeah.
That's
lots
more.
Of birds, actually.
That's Duluth. That's what
Duluth.
you say. You say winter,
Yes.
Duluth. That's what you think of, right?
That's true. Yeah. Oh boy, it's a tough day out there. All right, so we're following the snow for you and everything going on with Winter Storm Sawyer. We also have some